hits and crits. This video is brought to you by Asmodee.
We've got a lovely Targ, and not Targ. Oh my God, it's Lannister and Lannister. I thought it was Targ and Targ. My God, it's been a day, hasn't it? A Lannister mirror, as we've seen the lists for before. Gregor versus High Sparrow. I think things to watch out for this game. Obviously, the Red Cloak kind of panic tests, they're actually pretty good against things like the Stone Crows, the Brigands. They're not even that bad against the Knights of Castle Rock. Obviously, they run the risk of just getting killed by the Knights of Castle Rock charge, but we'll see how.
Hello.
Perhaps though, here is the Knights versus Bolton Flayed Men kind of matchup there, with the Gregor list also having the Brigands, which allow them to jump with the use of orders to I still call it orders to destroy. It's not. It's now assault orders, but the old orders to destroy from Gregor that can target the Brigands to close that gap down. We do just generally see a more efficient list from, in this case, the red player, which is Yorbo. I believe it's Yorbo, isn't it? Guys, it's almost impossible to tell. No, Yorbo's in wine coloured, so that's deep red, Bulgarian purple almost. Red is Libra. I think Libra's got a better list here. Myself, I would prefer it, but Yorbo is no slouch, and he's playing a list that I'm guessing he feels is quite decent into the Lannister mirror. Let's just all take a moment and all sit back, all relax, and realise that this is a Lannister game, probably for the first time ever this patch, that does not include a single ranged unit.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me now?
I'll let that one sink in, because I think that Lannister's not running crossbowmen is almost sacrilegious.
Wait.
Yeah, there aren't any in this game, in a Lannister mirror.
You can still, you still can't hear me.
Are you still not talking? Still not making noise. Have you accidentally muted your microphone physically?
Test, no.
Or you might need to plug it back, take it out and plug it back in. You can see your ring glowing. I mean, unless I'm insane, I can't hear you. Might be worth disconnecting and reconnecting. I don't know if you want to try that or not. I can hear you, don't worry.
Yeah.
Just mostly.
I'm sharing my screen now. Maybe, can you still hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, nice. And I've been wondering, like, I guess there weren't that many people watching, so it wasn't that confusing that nobody responded or like said anything. Like, and I also didn't talk that much. That's why I wanted to check out the technical stuff first. But here we are. All right. It seems like the first round is well underway now.
Yes. Yeah. We saw. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you, Leon. The saddest thing in the world has happened. What do you think I mean?
Everyone left after I accidentally closed the stage.
No, that's pretty sad. What is the actual saddest thing in the world? It's got a lot more to do with the game.
It's 2 werewolves, 2 corpse piles.
It's 2 werewolves, 2 corpse piles, man. This is so for anyone who's listening or anyone watching, this is generally and widely considered probably a mistake. Like, there is usually a winner or loser from this, and if you're the loser from this, you should know that this is not good for you before you even deploy the rest of the terrain. So you should already be looking after. I don't actually completely disagree that the first Weirwood coming down is a bad choice. I think that's probably fine. But a second Weirwood is usually not that beneficial. In a similar vein that the second corpse pile completely counters both of the Weirwoods.
Yeah. And
And
Yorbo getting side selection as well, so this cosplay is really really annoying for Libram.
The other thing that people forget is that a Weirwood is two terrain pieces, and it only has one keyword, but it is two terrain pieces. So a Weirwood is first and foremost, it's a +1 morale, obviously emboldened effectively. Don't call it that. Inspiring, isn't it, technically? But also, it's a second keyword is clear. That you've got to think of the keyword clear, in that it puts a piece of terrain, it puts a bubble of 6 inches around it that you can't place another piece of terrain in, that confers no defensive buffs or negatives or malices to attacks. It's a clear piece of terrain. That in and of itself is beneficial.
Yeah.
The problem is that not having terrain is also clear. So you're not actually gaining a lot from that. You're just denying your opponent the ability to stop making charges worse. Corpse piles, on the other hand, are both. They still have the -1 and they are hindering, right? And the hindering is way more important than the -1 is, actually. Like the hindering, removing those rerolls on the charge means that you have to invest resources to get those rerolls back, which otherwise may not be present. So, Brigands and Knights of Castle Rock are going to find it a lot harder to get those rerolls back. Whereas, sure, Castle Rock Honor Garden not.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's a massive negative.
Especially with like Gregor and Price of Failure in his deck.
Yes.
You would think that placing terrain that removes the rerolls is actually more beneficial than having this Weirwood on the side.
Like if
that does nothing.
If that is a wall, then the Stonecrows are looking pretty happy, I think.
You think so? With the red cloaks going around? And these red cloaks, interestingly, they have Preston Greenfield in them.
Yep.
And so it surprises me that both Crown and Horses are taken by the same player, which is not the player with the Preston Greenfield.
On round 1, it doesn't matter though. That's I mean, he could have marched up, but like the sad truth is, it probably just doesn't matter. The most pressing thing that that I think Libra has to deal with is he has to deal with the fact that the Brigands, they're just. I really like Brigands, but this like remote damage. It's just like, I'm never going to engage you. I'm just going to try and panic you off the board. With the likes of Joffrey and some of the tech tools and things you have available with subjugation of power and things like that. Brigands are very bad into Lannisters because of that. Because they just kind of die.
But wouldn't you, with this deployment, in my mind, I would try to kill the Stonecrow unit here, because like Gregor will have to face around, and if you take the horse, for example, and walk closer to the Stonecrows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gregor's kind of gonna have more problems getting into the game, while if you go try and get the Brigands, the Knights are there, right there too.
Yeah, but I think you can kill the Brigands without ever going after them. Like you can make it so the Brigands have got a difficult time with remote damage. And yeah, you're right. Go for the Stonecrows. I do think you want to pull the Flayed Men across the other side, though. I personally am of the opinion that because the brigands are so easy for him to kill remotely. That if he can use the red cloaks and Gregor to kill the stone crows, and then use his flayed men to trade effectively with killing the brigands, and then potentially like try and get a nice trade with the knights. And you lose High Sparrow to Gregor. That's almost definitely going to happen. But you just admit that's going to happen, and you try and trade out the other two units, and then you've got Gregor and the flayed men at the end of the game,
yep.
which can just run away and just play keep away. This is Game of Thrones, right? So like,
yep.
It's a very high scoring game mode. And the way to win these high scoring game modes is to actually spread out quite heavily, quite early, and pick off your opponent's mobile and useful pieces, and then just try and spread your opponent out too thin to the point where they can't effectively stop you scoring points. Libra's list is better at that, except into Lannisters, where I feel that Libra could just end up having a miserable time. These brigands could end up just being killed in the next next few activations, with the likes of subjugations of power, with the crown's take, and
a Tywin on top.
And a Tywin on top. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What do you think about this Gold Cloaks High Sparrow unit? I'm like both in taking it in the list in the first place, and then walking this close to the enemy Gregor list. Gregor.
So I do think that the High Sparrow has been made better. That was obvious in the latest patch. We saw improvements to High Sparrow in his cards, in his attachment, right? His insight replacing with Intim, just a good choice. Mercy of the Mother getting better, the Protection of the Father getting better. Wrath of the Warrior was fine, and actually Wrath of the Warrior really good for flayed men who don't have Sundering, right? So all in all, I think High Sparrow was made better. He was not complete garbage, but he certainly wasn't good. I don't know if I like him in Gold Cloaks. I don't think Gold Cloaks are very good. They hold a place in my heart, kind of thing, because I actually do like the idea of them. I just don't think it really works, to be honest.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think they're also is with so many cards of his triggering on passing morale tests, taking 7 morale unit feels kind of wrong. Like,
yeah, I
know you probably
the idea is...
don't want to play the cards on his unit necessarily.
Yeah.
But and here we go, Joffrey and the intrigue was expected.
Yeah.
And now here comes the Preston Greenfield advantage.
Yeah. It's a -3 check. You shouldn't be doing that on the Knights of the Castle Rock Honor Guard, surely. Surely you just test the Stone Crows. And I know that I know they have the innate healing, but they got the disorganized as well, so it's +1 wound, and they're way more likely to fail. Yeah. So
with a -1 from still a fail, yeah.
Remember it's -3 from the Red Cloaks themselves. So
yeah. It's -4 in total, and he rolled a 7. Yeah, should be an easy.
He did it on the Knights of the Castle Rock Honor Guard though, who would have been testing on a 5 up to 8. Corpse Pile and Weir would cancel, so 7 is fail by 1.
Yeah.
I really just don't think that's important.
Yeah, I agree. I tend to agree. You're not killing this unit anytime soon, right?
Unless you're desperately going to hit it with panics. You've got the double Intim. Are you hoping to just Intim panic it off the board? I don't like that strategy. That being said, like, Libra does have to do something, because at the moment, like Libra has the middle, and he has the option to move both of his cav over to the far right-hand flank as we see it on the screen here. And then he can control 3 objectives. Technically, the Stone Crows could walk forward, but I think Gregor is ultimately just going to prevent that entirely. What I would say, though, is that Libra is going second this round. Libra going second, remember, that puts all of the onus on Yorbo to do something this round, because Libra always has the opportunity to act after his opponent on every activation.
Yep.
This is like a huge part of the game and a huge part of tempo that people always forget. Libra is under no pressure to do anything with his units until Yorbo does something. And the Red Cloaks, while they do put pressure on, probably don't put enough on. Not right now.
And a letter's take from Shay. I was kind of expecting him to take the horse there. I think.
I think he doesn't care.
You don't think so?
No,
maybe because he zapped, because Yorbo zapped the honor guard. You don't care.
Yeah, I think
if you go, I think if you go hard on the Stone Crows, then then you should be forced to care.
Yeah, I think going for the Stone Crows is one way. I also think so. There's a sequencing here thing, right? So Libra now can't take the board, or can take the board if they want to, but like it's not a good idea for Libra to take the board necessarily. Sorry, Yorbo could take horses. It's Yorbo's turn. Yorbo could take horses and do another panic zap, and then there will be a third one coming later down the line when the unit activates. There won't be any more outside of some really wacky stuff happening. So we expect there to be 2 more. The horses now, it could go on the Stone Crows, and it's going to knock them off a rank at worst, but it might not. But that leaves bags and swords open. And as a Lannister player, you really want bags, because bags is good. Bags is one of the best zones for Lannisters. But at the same time, if you're Yorbo, you don't really want to leave swords open.
You think so?
Because it means you can't be aggressive at all.
I think
otherwise
you just have to not be aggressive into Gregor, right? Because
yeah.
Libra has drawn 8 cards. He used Tyrion's Order battle plan last round, so he will almost definitely have sword orders. So I think leaving up swords isn't actually that big a deal.
So I think it is, actually. And the reason I would say it's a big deal is I think it allows you to play quite aggressively with your positioning on Gregor now, knowing that you do have the opportunity for a free charge. Like you can just close the distance already, knowing that there's a charge, but also you can just charge, knowing that if you fail, you might get a second shot at the charge, and if you succeed, you've got open swords, which is no card expenditure, which means you're also not weak to counterplot. Which we do see here, by the way, Yorbo taking crowns and bags. I genuinely believe that this is obviously, bags is very good, but this has got to be a counterplot signal as well, surely.
I wouldn't be so sure, because he might just block the bags to now before he uses his red cloaks, just to deny the Varys or like zone healing or on the Stone Crows, right? So I think
yeah. But then you don't get the extra. You're going to leave swords open, and bags was already going to be open if he wanted Libra to not lose an NCU. I think you.
No, what I mean is, if you took horses first, then if you then blocked bags afterwards, Libra could use the Varys token to heal in either case, right? He'd be guaranteed to get healing. Now, if Yorbo takes the horses, these Stone Crows have to activate to regain wounds.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I actually, I think I would have liked to have seen Varys heal come out. I would have liked to have him used the Varys token to heal the Stonecrows because it's the least efficient wounds that he can get back from Varys, while at the same time it eats a Varys token, which there
Yeah.
are still 3 in the game. He wants him to use them in bad positions on things that are not very good, and I actually believe that healing the Stonecrows there is one of the worst things that he can do.
But
With heal sync.
it might just be those 2 wounds make the difference in killing them this round, right? If
Sure, but I think he doesn't need to kill them this round. What are you zapping with the stone? What are you going to be reasonably zapping with those red cloaks apart from the stone crows? Because zapping the Cassio Guard is not like that appealing, right?
no, no, it isn't.
Especially with no Joffrey. It's like if they come forward at all, it's like you've got a 50-50 of causing like 2 wounds. Like, it's not that good. So yeah, I don't really know. I don't really know. Like I think Yorbo's done. It's not what I would do, but it puts Libra in a more interesting position. This is the worry here, though, right?
Yeah.
Is that this is simply just a charge that Gregor can take off the tactics board now if he really wanted to, or he could just activate and charge.
This is actually one thing I like about charging with assault orders in this situation. Is because Libra has 2 NCUs open, right?
Yeah.
If you could guarantee your assault orders going through, obviously Yorbo could counter it with counterplot. But let's say Libra uses assault orders and claims one of the last 2 remaining zones. Yorbo would kind of feel forced to take the last zone, right? And then you can activate with Gregor again.
Yes.
And yeah, charging now with assault orders would seriously increase the pressure. But I'm not quite sure that's technically needed right now. You can sit back and enjoy your tempo swing for next round, I guess.
Yeah, you can. I don't hate it here though. Like, what are you losing by like what are you losing by doing it now? And the answer is you're losing to the counterplot. But like, are you actually losing to the counterplot that heavily if it goes off? Now, I do genuinely believe the read is that Yorbo has it. I also think the read could well be that he has subjugation. Like I can't think of a world in which he's taking bags with Tywin to just remove a token and to prevent some healing, right? He's doing that because he wants to buff up one of the card possibilities that is there had there. We could see intrigue for Tywin, which is obviously devastating, but it doesn't matter if Tywin blows his load before that. We could see subjugation of power with the extra -1s. And we could also see whatchamacallit, intrigue. Well, no, said intrigue, subjugation, counterplot. That was the one I missed. Counterplot being the last one, which is obviously now an auto for Yorbo and is a 3-up for Libra. So the counterplot into counterplot, like,
it's quite heavily one-sided, yes.
yeah.
But you still take the counterplot on a 2 and 3, right? So
yeah. You still do because it's assault orders, right?
yeah.
Like here's the other thing as well is I, perhaps erroneously, but I personally think that the assault orders is more dangerous than any Lannister base deck card for Yorbo. Whereas I think Libra doesn't really care about any of the like there are multiple cards on the same power level that he's facing against. So I think subjugation is pretty bad for him. We spoke about that in relation to the brigands or within his own stone crows. I think intrigue could be bad for him depending on what he does. I think it's dubious. I think some of the High Sparrow cards that reduce the damage might be more important to stop. I don't know. We see the charge on Gregor, right?
Yep.
This is a 2-up?
2-up, and he makes it. At least I hope they're not discussing it now, wait. Oh my god, this is not good. You shouldn't do that.
What did he do?
That just now after he's rolled the charge, they're discussing how far he needs to roll. But this is, in my eyes, this is a 2-up.
Yeah, it's 2-up.
It's 6, so it's a 2-up. Why are they recalling again?
I don't know. It's at this moment, guys, that I remind people that even like it's different when you're playing with someone you know. Like if you know someone quite well, you both know how each other play, and you'll be more familiar with how one another interact with the game. So like piggybacksy type movement type things, it's a lot easier to kind of like agree on those things. And that comes from like having that relationship with the person, right? You know, the social aspect of the game. I liken that to like playing with you, Leon, for example. We got on at least okay, so we can have those discussions, and we feel like it's less of an issue on the table, at least. When you're playing against people you don't know as well, it's that's still important, but what's more important is following through the steps as they should be taken. Because the steps that you should take in the game and following everything as it happens is what the right thing to do is, and is an expectation that anyone can expect from their opponent. Your opponent can expect that level of treatment. And as a result, you end up with cleaner games because of it. That's I guess it's just something that I recommend to anybody when they're playing. And as you learn as the game goes on, it's like, sorry, I missed this. Do you mind if I do this? A classic one. So I played a game the other day against Larks, against Daniel, and a classic one was like rally cry. And so, I forgot my rally cry again. Do you mind if I heal 2 here? And it's like, oh yeah, fine. You know, nothing's happened. Nothing's changed the game. That was obviously going to happen because it's the only unit in 12 that you could heal, and nothing's actually happened since that point. Whereas if I'd have played that in a tournament game, where I'm playing against in a tournament, you know, even against someone I know really well, I would definitely question whether or not that was okay to do, because that could affect, you know, decision making and things, right? So.
Yep.
I don't really know.
So they were talking. They're asking me now.
I mean, that's less than 6 to me, but your answer.
It does look like a 2-up to me.
Yes.
I mean, especially with how they moved the first time. So I think once they
I mean, I'm not the players. I've got no skin in the game. I thought that was pretty cut and dry.
There we go. 3 hits and a panic test. But they make it,
8
right? They just make it.
They're base 7.
Yep. And the intimidating presence from Gregor. That is unlucky for Yorbo. He would have loved to have the Stone Crows down a few wounds.
I mean, that would have been 5 wounds with that damage as well, so that would have been 4 wounds remaining. Obviously, they heal on activation, right? So,
would you ever consider to Tywin them at that point? If they have 4 wounds?
Yeah, I mean, so yes, I probably would, purely so I could Tywin the Castle Rock Honor Guard to lose their abilities as well.
I think so as well. Like, this round would be really nice to strip their abilities, but you kind of don't want to waste...
It doesn't prevent the problem. It doesn't stop the problem, and it doesn't prevent the problem. It just pauses it for now, right?
Yeah. But pausing it for this round is already very nice, I think, because then next round you'd like if we assume you'd kill the unit with Tywin as well, then
yeah. Well, you put the panic test into them first, right? You put the panic token panic test into them first, because with the intim, there's a good chance they die from that. That then gives you the vulnerable and hits to put onto the brigands, which I think is totally worth doing, in my opinion. And then you obviously switch off the abilities of the Castle Rock Honor Guard.
Yeah. And I still, like, even now, I think, like, Libra has to be very careful with his Stone Crows, right? Because the Preston Greenfield, or even just swords attacking with Gregor again, kind of opens this threat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be interested in how he deals with this problem now. Would you like ever just activate the Stone Cross and retreat?
I would. I personally would. For me, that is a no commitment move. You can easily retreat outside of the red cloak range as well.
Yeah.
And it puts you out of contact with intimidating presence. So it just generally is just a much better state of affairs, I think, for the Stone Crows. You know what though? Libra could just take swords here and just go, sod it, I'll take a free shot at Gregor. I don't like that. I don't think that's very good. But he could.
I think like the Stone Crows, like looking at their attack profile, I don't think they will take down Gregor at all.
No, they should. They should. Yeah, they should.
Gregor has the 2 armor.
Yeah, look, Libra backs out. He just takes the retreat.
I think that's nice. Taking the heal from recruitment or recruiting from the hills.
Recruiting from the hills, yes.
I
think Libra needs to go back further if he wants to. Oh, is he outside both? I think he's saying he's outside red cloak range and he's outside of the range of the corpse parlor.
Yeah, I can't check it now, but
he's also definitely outside of the Weirwood range.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious what the audience thinks. I mean, I don't know how many of the audience we've got here today playing Lannister. I know that Joel Mormont doesn't play Lannisters to save his life. Night's Watch main through and through. But Aston Flaygood, isn't Aston He's
I
one of the
think
team,
he's a
isn't he?
Mattel player.
Martel player, right? Yeah, yeah. From me, Martel player. Absolutely zero friends. I can say that. It's all right. I say that about everyone as well. I'm a free folk player. I also have no friends. 6 a.m. Hot Dog, who I think plays. I'm going to take a guess here and say, don't tell me.
Bolton.
Oh God, that would be awful. No, he plays Targaryen, I think. Targaryen and Martell, I reckon. Hot dogs are very Targaryen thing, right? Because they like eat dogs. I don't know. That's a bad analogy. No. Um, no, I actually looked on his stats profile. You see, I wasn't
Okay,
just
that's
saying it.
cheating.
It is cheating, isn't it? What the second monitor's for. And Sam S as well here in the chat with us today. Who do people think is going to win? Like the game state right now, I think is still quite open. Who do people who do we think is going to win? You know, who do you think is going to win, Leon?
My money would be on Gregor, so Libra.
You can't just say Gregor. Gregor's in both lists.
I mean, Gregor Commander, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we seeing the slow accumulation of the perfect hand for Libra? And then he's going to whip out the devastating, like, I'm just going to run into you, kill you, overrun, kill another unit, GG. I really do hate, by the way, that is a game plan that Gregor can play. Where it's just like, I'm losing a game, nothing really much is happening. Oh, I just wiped out 2 units. Lol.
Gregor's pretending to be on the objective, but he's not actually on the objective. But I think he might just charge the Flademan. They have a Fortune Seeker for some reason. You think... No, you always charge the Flademan, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would.
This unit is useless.
I mean, to be honest though, like I probably would just charge that unit because you can remove abilities, although it's got no condition tokens on it. You can remove the emboldened.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Or you could just take vicious, and if you have one more condition token, yeah, then I guess. But I think the Flademen are like the more dangerous unit, and now the High Sparrow is like not attacking this round. He's kind of lost in space in between two airwoods.
I mean, he goes to this charge. It's...
There was a subjugation played as well, trying to disable Gregor's abilities.
I think that's a waste of... personally, I think that's a really bad waste of subjugation this round. Like, I like the idea, but like... What do you remove from Gregor that you care about?
I mean, you remove a lot of wounds, right? You plus 2 wounds.
It's not innate. The mountain strength, they changed it. It used to be innate, where you couldn't remove his wounds, right? So I don't have any ability switch off like that, so you know, I don't play with it often enough.
So 5 wounds now, and a vicious panic test with 2 more wounds. Ouch.
Boom, boom.
I think now there's one thing you need to look out for as Libra, and that's fealty to the crown, right? If somehow this Castriok Honor Guard fails big, and the Flademen suddenly are full life again. And here comes Mercy for the Mother. which he just passes. So he heals 3.
Yep.
4 because of the Fortune Seeker. That's nice.
Yeah, because of the morale test.
One second, I can post the lists for you. Oh.
The lists are on stats, Pascal. Yep. Connor is saying Jordan's got this. Jaw is saying money's on Gregor Commander. So this is, getting through halfway through round 2. Still got an NCU tactic zone left open for Libra
What a
to take.
dreadful roll.
That is pretty bad. But so this is a big thing, right? This is a huge thing. I really hate this melee attack, personally, because either this matters and you wanted to stay in combat, or it doesn't matter and you are just potentially killing your own unit. Even if this attack goes particularly well, it's never going to go that well. Was he really was he really doing that just so he could spend the weaken token to prevent the knights the Classic Honor Guard having more abilities? Was that really the play?
Maybe he doesn't have counterplot, so he thinks assault orders is guaranteed anyway, so he might as well.
But it's not guaranteed, because now it's just take swords and do the attack anyway. It's not assault orders. And then he's got assault orders for next turn.
Yeah.
I'm much more of the opinion that you want your opponent to at least spend a resource. Make them have it and make them spend it, because if they never spend it, they still have it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know what you think, but maybe I am wrong.
No, I think you're right. I think this attack most likely will not do anything, but I'm still trying to figure out why he made the attack. Maybe he has fealty and he's hoping.
I'd love to have seen a retreat, to be honest. Outside the corpse pile, so that's not. There's nothing there really. What did Libra just do? Oh no, that was yours turn.
They might have considered using Taiwan, and that's why they switched the clock back.
Okay. He goes for the swords, and guess what? He's gonna attack with Gregor.
Yep.
I can't in good conscience believe this is a good thing, because there's no punishment here for Yorbo. He hasn't got Varus. There's no free hits going on to everyone, which we've commonly seen nowadays.
And the Gregor murder machine is rolling.
He took rerolls?
It seems so, yes.
So 6 hits, but no sundering.
No, he has sundering from Gregor.
Oh, sundering from Gregor, of course.
Ooh,
and
pretty good roll.
So he took 3, yeah, which makes sense. But there's a flat panic with the +1 from Embolden and the +1 from the Weirwood. That is going to be fine. So he heals 1. And, yeah.
I mean, not the best attack, I would say. Those
It was fairly weak.
Flayed men staying strong with their 3 armor. Wouldn't you have loved to have the Taiwan bomb there and maybe just try and kill the flayed men in one go? Or even in...
He doesn't need to. He opens swords next round anyway, right?
Yeah, but if he waits till next round, Yorbo might use Tywin defensively next round, and then Gregor won't have abilities, and he might not kill him then.
I mean, maybe. I mean, there's also the debate of like just having the tokens on gives you Sundering and Vicious, and you don't care about the lose abilities in the attack because they've got no abilities that you lose.
All right.
So it does make more damage.
And there's the counterplot on the fealty after. And see, he doesn't have. Oh.
Failed.
Ouch. Taking the bags paid off even without Yorbo having a counterplot, see?
I would have taken horses first, then take the bags potentially afterwards. It would have stopped the whole attack happening in the first place. But like bearing in mind this only matters because Yorbo got to attack. Libra got to attack twice with swords, and its fealty now gone. Like fealty's now out of the game. You don't have to think about fealty.
Yeah, but look at this Castle Rock Honor Guard unit now. Like 5 wounds engaged with intimidating presence. They might die to something.
I don't know why they failed that test. Did he roll an 8?
Yeah, Yorbo played Hear Me Roar as well.
Ah, right, okay.
Hear Me Roar. Into fealty for the crown. The dreaded Lannister, you fail a panic test, so there's a 20 wound swing on the board.
Yeah, I do hate the design. Because it feels shit while you're the Lannister player if they pass all their panic tests, and it feels shit if you fail the panic test. So there's always a player, and you can say that about anything about rolling any dice to make someone feel bad, but
yeah,
it's either it rolls.
It's very high variance.
Yeah, high variance, and there's no average result. Like an average result doesn't really exist, which does kind of suck a little bit.
It is, I think, one area in the game, panic test. That's always what people complain about. I wonder if they could somehow improve on the mechanics.
Always been all or nothing because failing a panic test for 1 wound is basically irrelevant. It's not actually irrelevant at all. Chip damage is really helpful, but it doesn't feel that relevant. Failing a panic check for 3 or 4 wounds feels awful because of in-game mechanics.
Yeah.
Yes, there's only functionally a difference of 2 to 3 wounds there, but within in-game mechanics, it feels a lot worse. A lot worse.
Yeah, and fealty is one of them.
I actually think if I gave you here's a test, right? Now it's obviously the answer to this is so heavily based on what faction you're playing and whatever. But if I said you would pass 50% of your panic tests, but the 50% you fail, you always roll a 3. Would you rather that, or would you rather to fail every panic test, but you only ever take 1 wound from failing?
That's difficult. Sometimes you need to keep the objectives, right? And failing panic.
Yeah, 100%. But in a static game mode like Game of Thrones, you don't.
You don't mind failing for 1, yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the price of failure on the Knights.
Pascal says the consistent 1 wound is easier to plan around. Yeah. Price of failure, I mean, it's wounded Knights. It's weakened Knights, sorry, not wounded. Yeah, I hate price of failure.
Unless I do seem to have a lot of mechanics that people hate.
So I've got it in Free Folk. I've got price of failure in Weeper and things like that. And bearing in mind, mag with price of failure is just dumb. It's actually dumb. And that's a thing you can have. You can just have mag slam into something. I'll roll 7 dice, and none of them allow armor saves. And oh wait, I just don't roll them. And you can't even weaken mag to stop me doing it. I actually just hate the mechanic. Because it's not that powerful, but it does prevent counterplay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the counter to a weaken token isn't just removing the weaken token; it's just playing a card instead. Um, that being said, it's not a bad thing that the card exists. It's just it's not the kind of card I like or enjoy, which is purely personal.
All right. Now both players having units at very low health. Would you still keep Tywin for next round? Probably, right? Because the
Yeah,
abilities
I
don't
mean,
matter anymore.
maybe I'm being too negative. Maybe I'm being too negative and too much of an absolute downer here. But because everything I say seems to be coming out bad, so just call me out on it by all means, right? But what I will say is there is a major issue that I have right now. What game mode are we playing?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to matter, does it?
I mean, it matters from the point that Yorbo is collecting 2 points here on the side.
Yes. Yeah.
And if
But
this
don't you just-
battle isn't as decisive as it is, like, if
Needs
this,
to be.
Yeah, then he will take a decisive advantage later by having more points.
100%. If he can trade the High Sparrow for the Castle Rock Honor Guard here, I think that's a major win for Yorbo.
Yeah.
And I just don't think the Brigands are that dangerous. Not like they're not dangerous at all, they're just not that dangerous. For the 2 units left. And as you say, that Stonecrow unit is I can't see it killing Gregor anytime soon.
No, it won't do anything. Yeah. I think there's plenty of more dice to be rolled in this game, but the next few ones are gonna be important.
Yeah.
Because I think what we're gonna see as an opener next round is both players using their Tywin, right? And if Gregor dies from Yorvo's Tywin, that might just be too difficult to come back from. But 5 wounds. Basically only have to pass the panic test. And he's using Tywin now.
Okay. This is the, by the way, you're experiencing right now the Nightmare of Tywin, which is not knowing exactly where everything goes on Tywin when it's being, you know what I mean? Like, it's really hard to tell where each individual thing's going. So this is on the Castle Rock Honor Guard, right?
Yeah. Vulnerable and hit seems to be 3, so any panic fail is enough.
Any panic fail is dead.
And
He's
here
got the
comes
panic
the
token on.
second Hear Me Roar.
Hear Me Roar, and that's a
And that's
panic
it.
fail. I mean,
That's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Right?
yeah. I mean, you fail a bunch of panic tests, that's going to happen.
And
The Knights lose all abilities.
yeah,
Which is fine. So this allows these guys to hit without the supremacy.
yeah, but it also allows them to stay engaged, so the knights can't charge again, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Which is kind of, although, let's say, and the most reasonable thing happens is that they die to Tywin as well. So
Yeah, I'd have thought so. But You're not that enamored by that unit of knights, though, right? Like, oh my god.
Ouch. It's not looking good for Libra.
I mean, he I'm of the opinion the brigands have not been doing anything. The brigands are a good unit, but like I say that they're not dangerous on their own in a one-on-one fight against any of these things. But they would have been really good when Gregor was still alive. But they're just kind of hanging out there at the back. Didn't use the space that they had in round 1 to really run up the board, I think. Which I think they should have done and could have done. Be threatening these flayed men a lot more. That being said, like, I don't really have any words apart from panic tests. You got to pass your panic tests, really, haven't you?
Yeah, I think there was one thing that was interesting to me, and that was when Yorbo played Mercy for the Mother, which basically let him heal 4 wounds, and we didn't see the counterplot then from Libra. Only on the 50 for the crown he played it then, which basically healed him an equivalent amount, right?
So the only difference is it actually did 1 extra wound as well. So in theory, Fealty for the Crown is a better counterplot with the maximum damage.
But if you pass your panic tests, you don't need to counterplot the Fealty, right? So if he listened to your advice, he would counterplot the Mercy for the Mother.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
And
what was he testing on? Was it a 5 -3? -4 wasn't inside the corpse pile?
For the Mercy of the Mother.
No, for the panic test on Fealty.
Oh yeah, that was -4. It was net. From the red cloaks, -4, yeah.
Yeah. Was it a -4 or minus? Oh no, it was a -3 net, but then it was -4 because of Emiror.
And intimidation as well, right?
Weirwood cancels out one of them, and he wasn't in range.
Yeah, so -5, -4 from the Weirwood.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, because of Emiror.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goes down to 4.
All right, now let's keeping stock.
So, before the last 3 activations of that round, we asked who do you think would win? And that was my money's on Gregor. And Gregor Commander, says Big Guy. Hot Dog correctly identified that he was backing his friend Yorbo. How do you feel about it now? Because I think this is looking pretty good for Libra. The saving grace, of course, is Libra's Tywin's still active.
Yep. But how is he gonna kill those flayed men?
Knights are pretty good at it.
Yeah, knights are pretty good at it, but the knights have to come free, right? So you have to kind of invest Tywin into the gold cloaks.
I'm not gonna lie, I might invest Tywin to kill the gold cloaks here, with the option of trying to free up the knights. And here comes the killer, perhaps. I don't know if this is a good move, but I think you do a rear charge into Gregor, freeing up your Stonecrows.
Wait, a rear charge from Gregor into...
So you rear charge the knights into Gregor.
Yeah, could be a possibility, yeah. But here's the thing. If Libra doesn't have Hear Me Roar, Yorbo will just pass his panic test because that's how that house goes, right?
That is how it goes, yeah. He's testing on 5. He's base 7, +1 for Embolden, +1 for the Weirwood.
Ooh, or he might just die to the hits.
I mean, that's a vulnerable spend. You're not going to spend the vulnerable? Surely spend the vulnerable on that.
Surely.
It's a 50-50 whether you kill him. Surely.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay. Right. So this
Oh,
is a
he
re.
has overrun.
Um,
Yeah, that's
he has
nice.
overrun. Yeah. I hate this, by the way. I hate this play, but I understand why he's doing it. Um, so the idea is he's probably in the flank of the flayed
Devious.
men. Need to check. Right, check. There he is. Right. So he's going to flank and then align 50% past the uh, red cloaks, so they're not going to be able to see the Knights of Cassie Rock, forcing your horses to have to turn them around. So you can play swords here to charge the Knights of the flayed men, basically. I think that's what he's going to do.
Hmm.
And that's a past panic onto the flayed men.
Wait, wouldn't it then mean that he has...
He weakens the flayed men. He does the swords. Go on. What are you thinking?
Maybe he panicked a different unit because I think...
You panic the flayed men. The panic token on the flayed men wasn't there before.
no, the panic test though.
That would have been a pass.
Yeah, because
Embolden.
then he'd heal. I think
Uh,
he probably passed either. He passed on either unit either way, right?
yeah.
But
He gets 3 hits. Doesn't spend the weaken, interestingly, and does die.
yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't. I mean, he wants it for the charge, I guess. Oh, look, it's overrun.
And there we have a counterplot.
Counterplot. This is a naked counterplot. This can fail.
Yeah, as did Libra's counterplot.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It does not, though.
it's a big one.
I do. This is why I don't like this play overall. Like, you've got to get that
Yeah.
counterplot out of the way, but like, and there's no better option. But I feel like you just take the. Surely you just have to take the risk and say, like, sod it. I'll kill you with Tywin, and then I'll just charge you in the flank. There's no Tywin coming back, so like, even if they do hit you, there's a good chance like supremacy might do some work.
Yeah.
Mm. Also, if you killed the Tywin with that thing, you make the panic check harder for them to pass.
The gold cloaks, you mean?
Yeah, kill the gold cloaks. Kill High Sparrow
Kill
with
the
Tywin.
emboldened. Kill the emboldened.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
It's
now.
crazy, right? Because we're watching a game and we have seen one unit killed from both sides. There is a 2 VP lead in Yorbo's favor, but we would, I think, both agree that Yorbo is in a much better position.
Yeah.
I do think it's fundamentally very possible for these knights, this flayed men to die here, though. And if the flayed men die, I do think Yorbo's going to struggle to get back into the game.
I agree as well. So, what are your options? Taking bags again?
As Yorbo, I would probably take bags with Joffrey, get the crowns control on the board, get
Yep.
bags. I know you don't need crowns with the red cloaks, but bags is just a good zone to take. You can get rid of the panic token and the 1 wound on the flayed men.
Mm-hmm.
Gives you that little bit more protection.
Or you could just take up a weekend token.
I
Keep on
don't
saying.
like that. I don't really like taking off a weaken token just because your opponent can just let us put weaken back on.
Yeah, but that's kind of the same argument for the panic token, then, right?
Yeah. I guess the difference is if I remove the panic token, I am.
Are we doing this? worked again.
Ah.
So he's activated them.
To remove the weaker
I think
token.
he's moving into the flank of the brigands.
Yeah, he's going to charge the flank of the brigands.
And that might do a lot of damage because, as we know, Flademen, they have critical blow.
On the charge.
On the charge, yeah. And the brigands, they also don't like the panic stuff.
No, they don't.
In fact, they hate it.
See, what I would say, this is another like situation though, because it's all melee and there's no threats and things like that, and the game is it's devolved into just kind of like a bit of a mess in this mid board. That tactics board, like the ordering on the tactics board, just isn't mattering that much, and this is round 3. Like, this attack only needs to whiff, and this is a terrible situation for Yorbo. Which is why I'm always hesitant with these kinds of plays. He rolls a 1 on the charge, rip. He then rolls like a terrible attack and just whiffs, rip. Like, if this panic check passes on the brigands, I would say that corpse pile is within range.
Yep, it looks like that.
I think there's green on the other side.
Do 11, but it's like minus 10.
7 base, right?
Yeah.
So minus 3. 4 is actually 11. So if he's inside the corpse pile...
Yeah, but he has
passes,
bribery as well, so minus
bribery,
2,
yeah, bribery.
minus 4, minus 5, minus 6.
Yeah, he can't pass.
But even then, like doing 7 wounds there, it's not even that impressive.
No, you can... I mean, you run the risk here, of course, with... As is always the case, you run the risk of, like, a Crown Zap, now just doing more damage.
Yeah, with Cersei here, Mirror as well. But, like, if you grab the bags first with Joffrey, you can also gain the subjugation, right? With Cersei. And then if you do this...
There's even more pressure on them.
Yeah.
Like,
now the
like
knights
here,
are kind of unleashed as well.
I mean, it's interesting. So he goes to the heal on the knights. I would have liked to heal on the brigands to remove the bribery. Like, I don't entirely like this play because he can just Cersei Crowns, grab Hear Me Roar back. And then if he's got a second subjugation, I don't know if he's got the other subjugation available to him in hand. I have no idea what Yorbo's last card is. Then they might just activate and die. Because they're at 5 wounds. 3 for a crit fail, 1 for Intim, 1 for Hear Me Roar.
Yep. Oh,
Here's Joffrey Crown.
Joffrey crowns up as well.
Yeah, is he going to put Joffrey on them to give them an extra +1 and then crowns at them here? This could actually just kill them.
Ooh,
But not if he rolls a crit. That's a 6, that's a 12, that's a pass.
He's listening to your advice. He's passing his panic test.
Just pass your panic test.
Just pass him.
Just don't fail your panic test and you won't lose.
Sadly, the red cloaks aren't in range. Don't you just... No.
Love the world.
Maybe you do, yeah, maybe you do. What do you think about grabbing the letters and putting a vulnerable on the flayed man? So your charge with the knights hits even harder.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, the red cloaks even have Tywin on them, so they don't even do anything with their zaps anymore.
yeah, there isn't any zap.
Yeah,
There is no zap.
there's no zap.
Crowns or no crowns, there is no zap. That's my new phrase.
And he does subjugation. He's playing it on the knights. What? It's on a 5, right? Or is it on a 6? Wait. He's failed it, apparently. Oof, 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 oof. It's -1 from the subjugation, +1 from the weirwood. It's on a 6, right? So, whoops. It seems there's another discussion about how difficult this test is now.
Yeah.
I need to do something real quick. No, I can't do it. I'm a spectator. Don't think I can do it.
Just
So-
table, mate. No. I feel like I've been watching this move for a while, and he finally went for it.
Yeah,
The subjugation hurts. Like the subjugation does hurt a lot.
I mean, he doesn't have lands anymore, right? So
Yeah. Again though, like failed a basically naked panic test because it was +1 -1, right?
I mean, he was panicked.
Oh, yeah, I guess. But still, it still hurts. Yes, that's
Yeah.
4 non-sundering hits.
4 and 4s. And here I was thinking about keeping the subjugation for
Where
for
did the
killing the
panic-
British.
Oh, you
I think
Where
the
did the panic
UIs
open on the window?
it's the UIs are broken because
it's the
they
UI.
reloaded the game. I can
Okay.
quickly. I could try and fix it. I can't.
You type in your magic code in.
Wait, why can't I change? Ah, that's.
Because you're
It's because I am grey.
yes, you're not actually in the game as the spectator.
There's a secret brown.
The Overlord button.
But brown can't see the menu either. All right, I won't try.
Oh, no. Is there not black seat?
Yeah, but you can't select it if you're not the host, I think.
Right, okay. Yeah, that one.
So here come the red cloaks into the rear. But honestly, I think, wouldn't you say you don't even have to do anything as YOLO right now, right? You don't necessarily have to risk any weird charges here with fealties and subjugations.
Maybe we I'd like to see Libra just take letters here. Weaken these red cloaks potentially. Draw some more resource. I don't see. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It has felt, it's got soldiers, okay. It has felt like everything has come up your guys' way this game.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Yorbo's played badly. I think he's played well, but he has everything that has happened has come off like positively for him. Outside of the initial subjugation of power on the Gregor charge, but even that Gregor charge was a bit shit.
Didn't it do like 7 wounds? I can't remember.
It's fair, but like immediately got countered by a double heal, right? So maybe underestimating how much damage it does. Oh, that's a fail.
But no fealty for Libra. That's sad.
Charges the. Could have charged the Britain, did that right? Charge knights.
If you knew you rolled a 6, yeah, maybe.
You didn't know that, did you? Gets plus 1 to 16 on 3s with Vicious because of
That's
what should we call it?
That's
His debts. It's not a card you see often in Gregor lists.
no, but he's not playing Gregor, right? So
no, he's not. That's why.
And he has the
7,
Vicious, so
and he makes 2 of them, so that's 5 wounds.
yeah.
He's vulnerable.
And he might actually.
And he makes reroll them. Why wouldn't you just? Yeah, there's 7. He's just dead.
And I think this is a good time to resign the game.
That's a game over moment right there.
Oh my god. That's
the Brigands could kill the Flame Men.
That is
the Brigands could kill the Flame Men. The problem is the Brigands could kill the Flayed Men here, and I just don't think it matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate this move, by the way, from him, not just pushing himself really close to the Brigands. So if he kills the Brigands on this and then surge forth, he might be able to surge outside of the 12-inch radius of the Red Cloaks. If the Red Cloaks just moved closer to the Brigands, that just wouldn't have happened. He couldn't have got outside the 12-inch. He's charging Gregor.
Yep. You might kill Gregor. Then he might be back in the game. I don't think so, but he needs to basically kill Gregor and the Flademan, right? To have any chance.
Yeah. But I think he probably just loses. It's at the point of the game now where he probably just loses the Brigands anyway, from like remote stuff. Oh god. I mean, 3 is on the lower end.
One wound is all you need with this guy, Gregor.
You got him.
He has 1 wound, and there comes the vicious panic test.
Is it vicious? Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, because inside. Oh. I think that's an exact pass, right?
No, it's 7.
Oh no, yeah, it's a 3 as well, yeah.
It's on 6.
It's on a 6. But I saw the 3. I saw the 3.
Mm-hmm. It's looking pretty dire, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty dire.
Oof. Takes 5 wounds as well, right? Ouch, 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 ouch. Wait, what? Oh.
Oh.
Maybe we can get some justice and kill those flademen. It's a good start.
It's a very good start. Failed panic is all it needs. But he rolls a 1. The actual only damage.
He's panicked.
Yeah, he's dead.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is what I was talking about. The 6-inch, if he 6-inch surges directly towards the corner. Oh god, he's not going directly towards the corner. I think he can get set outside of the 12 inches on the red cloaks. I think with a pivot. He doesn't go in the right direction here. He's gonna. Yeah, this is like. Don't do that. Come way further, flatter, almost directly away. Yes. No.
It might still be not enough, right?
I think it is. I think it might not be actually. It's damn close.
It's gonna be close.
No, I think that is. I think that is fine.
Yep, just barely.
And then you fit the 360. See, I can eyeball this shit, man. I know that. I know what movement is. So, but this goes back to what I said about your boat. He could have gained. It didn't have to be much, right? He only had to go not even half an inch.
Yeah.
Just closer to the brigands, so they definitely couldn't get out of the 12. And then you can just open with Joffrey horses, a free crowns up onto them. What the hell is he gonna do? Because if you run away, activate run away, you just get crowns up out of thin air. If you take crowns, well, I'll just charge you. You know, he just can't get away anymore. Not effectively. Or he just puts himself at a crown zap away from death the whole time. He can take bags, well, I'll just charge you.
Yeah, but let's be real. Now he opens swords, kills the stone crows, and even if the brigands run away, you can just sit on one of the points. When are you going to kill the stone
crows anyway? In the nicest possible sense, weren't they just going to die anyway?
I mean, maybe Tyrion kills the mountain for some reason. Intrigue. Yeah. I mean, so no abilities for poor Joffrey.
I personally, actually, genuinely would still take crowns.
And zap the stone crows.
Even zap them, yeah.
Yep.
And the panic token as well. 7 goes to. I mean, that's a 12. That's hilarious. Keep the damage. Reroll the rest. It's worth doing.
And did it.
That's well.
Yep.
Oh god, it doesn't take that long to remove them. Alright, they delete them. Fair enough. I mean, that's game over, right? I'm not trying to end it too early, but that is basically game over now. Which we kind of thought it would be anyway. I almost think you have to take bags.
Can you prevent crushing?
No. Because he's already 4 points up and he's scored 2 points around with the... So he gains 1 point on the...
Yeah.
He gains a point on Libra every round. he only needs to gain 1 point on Libra across the next 2 rounds to win the game. Because I assume he's going to score 4 points, and for him to score 4 points, he scores 2 twice, or he needs to score a 1, a 2, and then a 2. But for every round he scores 2, he is gaining points over Libra.
Actually, the crushing doesn't even matter that much because this is an elimination tournament, so
yeah, exactly. It matters for ELO and things like that, and, but yeah, this is just a crushing. And there's no way that I actually just don't, apart from an errant crown zap at the top of round 5 to kill Gregor, I genuinely think is the only thing that Libra can do at this moment in time.
Didn't he use the bags to heal Gregor, though?
I think I don't know, I still see the wound on him, so I don't know. I assume he meant to.
It's interesting.
It's just pointless. Shay doesn't do anything. Oh no, he played bribery onto the brigands.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Which is part of the so this is part of the problem, is what I was trying to say, which is that the brigands are so weak to the remote stuff. It's not how I thought it'd play out. He just took Gregor on the chin, I guess. I'm not gonna lie to you, that was the first time I've ever seen Gregor just in a competitive game just completely do nothing, basically. I know he did like one decent attack, but it wasn't even one decent attack, right? That was 2 attacks that got those flayed men to where they were. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you charge people's pace, and it doesn't do anything.
Question is Yorbo going for the wipeout?
He doesn't gain anything from that in terms of the event. He doesn't gain anything from that in terms of ELO, so I just don't think there's any point. Because there is a risk that he fails, and if he plays risky at this point, he's not gaining anything, while also just putting himself in a position where he may accidentally lose. Well, I don't really see how he accidentally loses, to be honest. But
yeah. Oh, ouch.
He loses 3 rounds there. 2
only 2 because of the red cloaks.
Yeah.
In some way, I think like Yorbo's list is actually pretty smart because when I signed up to the tournament, I saw who's playing, and so I took Targaryen because I expected a lot of Lannister players, right? And I think like having a red cloak list against most Lannister lists is actually
a good option.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, so there is that. There is also like the counter strategy, and like let's be brutally honest here. Do you think Libra played this game well?
I think he made some mistakes. I think he made some risky mistakes. I think his deployment with the Stone Crows, I don't know how it came to that.
I think he had 4 melee units,
and
only 2 of them were in combat at any one time, really.
Yeah, I mean, he also failed a lot of panic tests, so
he did. And a lot of them were, big negatives, let's be honest. Why is he attacking on max dice?
I don't know.
I mean, I have no idea what this is. He rolled a 1 on the charge.
And
Didn't he?
and he's
Yeah,
that's
the
also.
1 on the charge.
I mean, he should be attacking on lowest dice anyways.
Yeah, I
case.
don't know what they're doing. Is it because he played Price of Failure? If he did, then, or is it like it's not. No, there is no thing that makes you attack on highest dice in.
I mean, even
Okay.
if he was attacking on highest dice, he has bribery
Bribery
attached.
still counts it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to work out why might it have been highest. Because at least if I knew why it was highest, then we can forgive them for getting bribery.
Yep.
But it wasn't, so I don't know where that came from. I don't know. I've no idea what's just happened. But you just take swords and you panic zap them and then kill them, right?
Surely. -2. Yeah, vicious as well there. On Lannister pays its stats.
Yeah. So he takes the morale test now. And that's a fail
for
2 wounds.
No. I think it's a 4 dice attack, right? 4 dice on 3s with vicious because of.
Bonus on 3s, but he's doing a morale check here. Is this before the melee attack for sundering and +1 hit? +1 to hit?
Yep.
It'll be Mercy, not Mercy, the Wrath of the Warrior, as it used to be called.
Yep.
Still called that? Yeah, it is. Nice.
Wrath of the Warrior. And here we go. So 4 on 2s with vicious and sundering.
3 hits. And 6 to save. Any saves puts it down to morale check. It's a morale check. Panic check. -2 for vicious, -3 for bribery.
Yep.
That's a fail. And that is GG.
GG.
That's Libra has been wiped. I mean,
That
it
was
ends.
rough. That was a rough game, I think.
It ends looking closer than it should be. Yeah, you know, I'm going to say it again before we invite. If you want to invite them, I don't know if we're going to.
Yeah.
I'll say what I said before though. The game mode didn't matter. Like, it just didn't. Like, I didn't notice the objectives doing anything. They probably put like a token or something. I didn't really notice it. Doesn't mean.
I mean, these 2 tokens were quite nice. This upper left one panic token.
Yeah.
I think this got used twice, and it was quite pivotal on killing the Stormcrows.
But the rest of the objectives, the game mode didn't really matter. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think Libra had to be that aggressive. He dove in, and I just don't think he needed to. But yeah.
I'll ask if they want to talk.
You can ask the questions because I'm a bad person.
Okay.
Thomas has joined us just to end it up. I also notice Chris or Isk in the chat as well. And there's a Yorbo and there's a Libra.
This one. Hello, guys.
Hi.
Congrats on your win, Yorbo.
Thank you.
That was quite a bloody battle. What are your thoughts about this matchup? Why did you? Why did you guys pick your lists? And what are your general thoughts? Maybe start with Yorbo.
Yes. So coming into the matchup, I kind of expected him to play the other list, which had triple Lannister supremacy. Or at least knowing that, I think that was a really bad matchup for my double crossbow list, because they're both Lannister crossbowmen, and 7-up morale is not very good. I think the crossbowman into this list is a pretty good matchup for me. I mean, he does have double cavalry, so that does make it a little harder. But knowing both of those, matchups, I think I preferred this list into really either one of them. There's a lot of healing, and I think going into this matchup at least, I figured that I could probably win the grind, if we got engaged and stuff wasn't just really quickly dying, which can be kind of hard to do with Gregor. But, I got pretty lucky on that counter plot that he failed. And, the flayed men stayed alive a long time engaged.
Yep. And Libra, what's your thoughts on the list pick and the matchup in general?
I actually expected Tyrion, and I think that Mountain can crush Tyrion if he's played well. And also Kevin was planned as a counter for Tyrion, but actually Turncoat can turn off your supremacy for one turn. That's quite a problem, and Tywin can turn off your second supremacy. And then Tyrion can just make pew pew and you die. But still, I think Kevin could play into Tyrion and could play into this list, but I thought that with a Kevin you rely more on rolls and cards. I could take intrigue from my deck with Mountain, and I cannot with Kevin. So generally that was why I took Mountain to this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And Mountain kill faster, and that's a big problem with Yorbo list, that you can go in and don't skill anything and you just slowly die. And I was hoping for Mountain that he will kill either Sparrow or Flightmans very quickly. I'll go with Overrun and kill the rest. But it worked as it worked.
Yeah, I think you were quite unfortunate there. You failed a lot of panic tests. I think the one sequence of play there where you failed the panic test, then Yorbo had fealty and you failed your counterplot as well. I think that was probably the turning point
yes,
in the
it
game.
Was. Actually, I failed by one, just because he played
the Hear Me Roar.
Hear Me Roar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I failed on fealty. I think that if I would pass this counterplot, the game could go either way. I could win it, but after this healing, it was disaster.
I think you also had a chance to come back, but then I passed my 3-up counterplot when you tried to overrun with the knights.
I don't know if it would save me, if it would allow me to win. But still,
true.
that fealty was terrible. And Mountain actually died from pre-panic test. I don't know if he was hit once and they get no wounds, lucky for me. But then he just died from free panic test. That's it.
Yeah.
That was something I didn't expect.
All right. One more thing I have to ask you though is, in my view, after I saw the deployment, I thought the Stone Crows were quite exposed on your right side, while your your cavalry were both on one side, so I think your stone crows were quite weak. I'm interested.
Yeah, they
in
was exposed. Where is the copy? I was planning something like he has his flageman there. I was just I expected that I will not kill them with just charge one charge with lances. So I wanted to do something like this to threaten him with 2 cav units, and just then charge with him with 2 cav units, or put Cleganes like this. Charge with lances, then charge with Cleganes, and that's 100, actually almost 100% for killing Fademans. But then the game went the other way.
Mickey, do you have any more you have questions for players?
No, not really. I guess for me, I was surprised. Leon mentioned the deployment, and you've kind of understood, like, or given an indicator there. I guess I was just surprised that you were so aggressive in that round 2 into round 3, and you only really leveraged the 2 units when it felt like you wanted to do more. And then obviously it did. You failed a bunch of panic tests, and ultimately the game. I say this all the time. You win or lose based on failing panic tests sometimes, and you failed all the ones that mattered. So apart from the very first initial subjugation, I think you failed literally all the others basically that weren't just random crown zaps. So yeah, it's difficult to see where it could have gone after those first initial set of decisions, I guess. So I guess for you, if you were playing this game again in this matchup again, how would you approach it differently?
Actually, I don't know what could I do differently. I definitely could roll better for panic. Yeah.
Not have me start by the +1 card.
Yeah. I was wondering what if I had I had 3 like there, but still Yarbo could just steal my side from me. Yeah, this corpse pile here was a problem for me, because I was scared that he will just take crown and kill my stone crows from air, from just doing nothing, just playing subjugation or something. He will destroy him. That was why I put him such exposed, because I thought I'll just take 2 cards and he will die anyway. I can do nothing with it. But yeah, I think that I wonder what could happen if I had 3 here, but that was dependent on roll. And then maybe charge faster. There was a moment you didn't hear, but I was staying there here with Mountain, and I was thinking if I should play Tywin, but if I will play Tywin, he will also play Tywin and disable my Mountain. So maybe if I will not, he will not, and I will charge him when he doesn't expect to do something, and maybe then he will disable me after first attack. So maybe I should charge faster, or I should charge Sparrow, but hard to say.
Okay. Do you think on the back of that, then, the terrain pick, I do criticize the double weirwood, double corpse pile. I personally have said multiple times previously, and I hold out today that I'm still hold the opinion that double corpse pile, double weirwood is never the right terrain pick for one of the 2 players. You mentioned about having that weirwood positioned slightly off, giving you a bit more protection. I think that is by far the biggest change you could make, and I think it would be really beneficial for you. And I guess what other terrain piece would you have considered picking for this game mode?
If you ask me which other terrain I could pick,
yeah, if you could pick anything, what would you pick if you?
think is a palisade or where is it? Stakes.
Yeah.
Like this, to protect Tyrion from charges. So he's basically unchargeable by Mountain until he will destroy stakes. That's quite a lot of time. And honestly, maybe wall in the same place, but I think that's it, because there is a second funny thing with a tree, that if you play list like this, where you need a clear board, you put a tree and you have 12 inches where there's nothing, so your cav can charge without any problems, without any no bonus charges and or +1 to enemy defense.
Yep.
I guess to your bow, High Sparrow is certainly picked more often than he used to be as a commander. Red Cloak, kind of like Red Cloak panic lists, have always kind of been a thing, but have filtered in and out of playability as time has gone on. But we see Gold Cloaks. Did you want to talk about Gold Cloaks and the addition in your list, and why you decided to pick them over literally anything else that could have taken up that slot?
I mean, I think Gold Cloaks are a little bit underrated right now. I think if you throw a commander in that has a little bit more defense, you know, so like something like High Sparrow or Adam or what else was, I mean, you could, no, not really Kevin, but you know, I think High Sparrow or Adam can give them a lot. And then, you know, I'm already taking Joffrey and Red Cloaks, and you know, the other option would be to take a second unit of Red Cloaks, right? But I like having the Gold Cloaks over another unit of Red Cloaks because it can really, I feel like it can really help push the panic test. I mean, pushing panic tests on like from like a 9 to a 10. I mean, it's not like that much more likely, but you know, it just adds even more consistency into it, which, you know, is already such a struggle. And I like frontlining with them and the Flademen together, you know, because either one of those that get engaged are giving the intimidating presence, right? And so I like frontlining with the Gold Cloaks better than the Red Cloaks, you know, because they're pretty similar on defense. It's just that Gold Cloaks have that -1 rank, which I feel like can, you know, have a lot of utility in keeping them alive a little bit longer.
Okay.
That
Cool.
makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, because I theorized that you picked a Red Cloak list to kind of snipe your fellow Lannisters in a tournament. Is that true, or is that pure coincidence?
I mean, I didn't look too hard at the people. I mean, I know that, like, you know, you looked and saw, hey, there's 4 Lannisters. I'm gonna run Targaryens, right? Which, you know, is a good idea. I mean, I knew that there were at least 2 other Lannister people, right? Because I've played like Lord Bolton and I've played Libra a couple times in tournaments. So I knew that, like, you know, against them, this list would do pretty well. The main reason is just that I find myself having a lot more fun with the High Sparrow, and I've been running this list locally for a bit, and I don't know, I've just really been enjoying running it, and I wanted to see how it would do against, you know, really good players, and I think I'm liking how it's working so far, if that makes sense.
Actually, I think this is the kind of list that works against Lannisters and maybe Boltons, and that's it. But against Lannisters, it's very good.
I don't know. Well, I actually played this list against the Eddard list last week.
Yeah, Starks also have not the best morale, but that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that kind of goes into the gold cloaks where, that -1 can help push, some factions where I feel comfortable taking it. Because, if I'm just making you take -3 panic tests plus 1 wound from Joffrey, it's like, yeah, they're going to fail some of the time, but like not that consistently. When they get engaged with High Sparrow or the Flayed Bin, they're now taking -5 plus 2 wounds. I don't know. I feel pretty confident taking this against most factions.
Okay, it would be great if we had any access to panic tokens, but
Yeah.
there's always a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you had the objective to put out plenty of panic tokens, I feel. Those were...
Yeah, but you don't have objectives, that kind of objective in every game.
Yeah, of course. So I guess my last question to Yorbo would be, you're looking forward to next round. You're playing against Robert. He's playing Martels. What do you think are your chances there?
I think I'll have pretty good chances. I think I might have played him before in a previous tournament. I'm not really sure. I have a lot of experience playing against Martels, though, because Trial Fam on the Discord, he's pretty active, is like my main local opponent, and so I have a lot of experience in the Lannister Martell matchup.
All right. So you'll crush him, is what you're saying.
That's the.
I hope he will crush him. Everything needs to stay in the family.
Oh well, then I'll wish you good luck for the next round. And Libra, unfortunately, as it is your second loss, you're eliminated from the tournament. But I hope you had fun, and I hope to see you next season.
Yeah, that was quite a funny experience. Thank you very much for... I wanted to say thank you very much for launching this tournament, but I think this... Okay, anyway, thank you very much for this experience.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I'm not sure who launched that tournament, but yeah, that was how I was.
Yeah, it's I'm co-running it, I guess. Well,
okay,
so
thank you very
Sophie
much
is running the tournament. Yeah, but
yeah, and also for Sophie
with Daniel and Sophie, I'm running the whole circuit, right? Yeah. So thank you for playing. Thank you for talking, and I think that's it for us. And have a good evening.
Yeah. Thank you very
Thank
much
you so much.
again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.